and helping tune in for direction to unlock your power and heal trauma stronger from within.
Hey.
Hey, everybody.
Hello,
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Yes.
Hello.
Excited to
Hey.
be here.
All right. Look like I'm a little. Everybody having a good evening?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Good deal. How was your Easter weekend, Easter holiday?
I had a great time. Our church did something amazing. We had 2 services at the what was it? The Georgia Tech Stadium, and it was outstanding. It was
That's
amazing.
dope.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's dope. Guess what I did?
What you did?
Puppy shit.
Ooh.
No, honestly, woohoo! We got another puppy sold, so we dropped her off to her new mama
Nice.
and helped her get integrated into her new home over the weekend. It was bittersweet. I cried in the car, y'all. But she went to a good mama. And fun fact, her new mama lives like a mile from my sister-in-law, who has her sister, and like 2.5 miles from my son. So she's close that I can kind of run into her from time to time, or we'll be able to see her. And there's talks of her and my sister-in-law kind of doing like walking together and having them meet up, like family meet up, like a little family reunion type situation.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about that. The 1 down, 3 to go, got 1 pending. That's what took me a little while to get started with you guys tonight. I had a meet and greet, so fingers crossed that this 3rd placement is going to work out. So pray for me.
Awesome. I sure will.
Amen.
How about you, Joe? What's popping for your weekend?
Not much. Just an uneventful weekend, but that's good. I like uneventful things. So
Yes,
just
uneventful
relax
is
and
good.
relax and just caught up on a couple of things. That's about it.
All right, just chilling out, just chilling.
Yes.
So I bet y'all are thinking, what are we going to talk about today? Because I had a little surprise. I kind of let y'all in a little bit on what we were going to talk about. But I'm going to give you all the question. I'm going to give you the scenario, give you all the question, and then we'll dive into answering those questions or providing support for this gentleman. This is a single father of 2 girls. He was in a relationship with a mom. And his question is, should I allow her to see, speak to, or engage with her children? Now, I know that right off the rip feels like, what you mean, should you let a mother speak to her children? Right? But there are some serious nuances with regard to this particular situation. And so the children are now 15 and 13. The 13-year-old has no idea who this person is, never seen her, and has only spoken to her 1 time in 13 years. The 15-year-old, of course, has had a little bit more time with her. She was about 3 years old when mama and daddy parted and mama disappeared, and has spoken to her here and there. But the oldest child has had some serious mental health issues with regard to the relationship with her mom, or the lack thereof. And the mother is now asking the dad, hey, can I call them? Here's where his pause is. In the 12 years that he has had custody of these 2 children, sole custody, because she didn't show up to court for the custody hearing. She has called them maybe twice. They have FaceTimed with her, I think once. And she has been estranged from them now for at least 4 or 5 years. So she just disappeared, right? It appears to be that each time she gets pregnant again, so she in that interim had a baby, and now there's talks of her being pregnant again. So it's almost like when she gets pregnant, she's thinking about the other children and is like, oh, let me get in touch with them. And then poof, disappears. Now, dad has had to handle the fallout of missing mom from day one, but more so once the oldest child became a teenager and started going to school and experiencing other people having conversations about what they've done with their mom over the weekend. You know, as sad as it is to say, it's more common to not have a conversation or have any dialogue to contribute about dad, because that seems to be a more common scenario where you might be estranged from your dad somewhat. But to not have your mom around nor have contact with her, no information, like you really can't even provide any context with regard to her is very abnormal. It's not something we see common. It's uncommon. I don't want to say abnormal. I remove that from the record. I strike that from the record. But it's uncommon. So dad's dilemma is, I've had to deal with the fallout of them not having their mom around. I've had to help and guide and support the oldest child through severe mental health issues, up to and including feeling suicidal because she felt like her mom didn't love her, want her, care about her. And it is something he's still dealing with. And he's afraid that if he lets her just plop back into the middle of their lives, what's going to happen when she disappears again. And he's almost certain that she will. So his question to us is, should he let her have any contact with them at this point in the game? That's heavy.
Great.
We all
Great.
Yes.
I didn't know if Gil, I was going to give Joe an opportunity to respond first if he wanted to. Otherwise, I will share my thoughts in regards to it.
Go first, just Antoine. Take the lead.
So I would put boundaries, right? I would put stipulations with mom. I would have a place where she I would have a place where she would have to meet with a counselor or somebody, a mediator, and have an agreement set, and find out her motivations to meet the children and what expectations that she has and what expectation that the family has to allow her to come back in and have a conversation with the children and things like that. So I would put it on record, have somebody to mediate that and facilitate that conversation on my behalf and the behalf of the family, because if dad tries to do it, emotions may get into it and that conversation may go the other way, right? But if you have a mediator, you can tell the mediator, hey, these are the boundaries. This is what I would like to know from her mom, and see, where she's at, what her intentions are, blah, blah, blah. And if she is willing to come back, these are the expectations, or these are the, wants that we have as a family to see for her to come back into their lives. These are the things that we want to see.
Yep, that makes total sense to me. But I'll say my first reaction. My first reaction is like,
and I'm
oh
gonna mute
no.
you guys. So I'm gonna mute and let Joe have the floor, and then I'll give my little commentary thereafter.
No problem. Yeah, my first reaction is like, oh no. because just hearing that is like, oh no. I mean, yes, she's the mother and she deserves to be in her child's life, but knowing that the father had to go through all that, the mental toll that the daughter's going for, not just that daughter, but the other daughter, too, possibly. That's a lot going on, and just to pop in and out as she pleases, no, no, no. There's gotta, like, yeah, like you said, there's gotta be some boundaries, because ain't no way. Oh, can I speak to? Hell no. No, you cannot. So I do agree when you said the boundaries need to be made. There needs to be a mediator, a third party, or something, because having direct access to her like that, that's got to be no. I don't see that happening. Just because the 12, I think it was 12-year dip out, didn't want to pop back up, and then the child's like, "Oh, you back now? What kind of trauma is that going to bring up?" All the work the dad had to put into to somewhat get her the non-suicidal, thinking that she's not worth it, not wanted. That's all been. I'm not gonna say. Well, I will say it felt like that's gonna be all thrown in the trash, and then it's the whole cycle is gonna start over. So it's like this cycle of trauma, just repeating and repeating. So I do agree with you what you said, Antoine. There has to be a mediator. Got to be some therapy, not just for the mother, but also still for the child, to have the mother interact with the child, because you don't know what is going to be said between the mother and the child. So even with that third person there, so maybe the mediator has to be a therapist to be like, hey, what the mother's trying to say is not right for where this child is, and their mental health wise, or maybe they can probably to prey on that as well. So yeah, there's many things, but take the floor, Jay.
All right. So I thoroughly and wholeheartedly agree with both of you. And I would even, so uh, there are other pieces to this puzzle. So I know I gave y'all half and I wanted to get your input on the half. So I'll give my opinion on the half. Actually, no, I'm going to give y'all the second half of the scenario. And I'm going to return the floor to you to see if there's more that you feel like needs to be said or done. And then I'll step in and yeah, how about that? So the other piece to this is mom has remarried. Well, not remarried, because mom and dad in this scenario were never married. Mom is married and husband is a convicted SO. Okay. And the boundaries with that have already been set in place. If there, back when there was communication in that short period of time, that at the time dad didn't know was going to be a short period of time, but when he did the background check and all of the information and found out that husband was a convicted SO, he said absolutely under no circumstances will they ever come to visit you. If you want to visit them, here's where you can visit them. And the only way that you can stay with them overnight is to stay at my mother's house with them. My mother has agreed to allow you and you alone. And if you want to bring your child, fine, but your husband cannot come. He is not allowed around my children under any circumstances. You can come alone. And my mother has agreed to open her home to you to spend the weekend with the girls if that's something you want to do. She opted out of that because she felt like, or the conversation was that the husband felt like the dad wanted to see the mother, or somehow, his intentions were with regards to the mother. And he's like, absolutely, unequivocally not. I have zero interest in her. My concern are my girls, and I wanted her to be able to have a relationship with the girls, and I wanted her to be able to spend time with the girls. And the question was, can they come and spend the night? The answer was no, but here's how you can spend the weekend with them. So the floor is yours again, Antoine, with that additional information.
Well, I wanted to comment on what Joe said, that there needs to be conversation with the children in regards to this situation. So if it were to happen where there was a reunion, I believe that the input of the children would be very necessary, and that the therapist or somebody helping to facilitate that with the dad and the children to, like, what would your expectations be, and just have that candid conversation, and even go through some healing process and some things with the children, right, to prepare them and see if this is something that they want, because now they're at an age where they can really express themselves, right. They might not know the right words to say or this, that, and the other, but they can say, hey, I'm pissed off, or I'm mad, I'm upset. They have those common things that they can say, and so um, they can have a choice in the matter of reconnecting with the mom and going through that process. So I think that needs to happen prior to even meeting with the mom. I think it should happen prior to even the mom having a conversation with the third party, be it therapist or somebody, mentor, mediator. So I wasn't saying that the dad and the mom and the mediator come together. I was just saying the mediator and the mom, right? With the dad already setting boundaries, right? So if those things be set already, so this is the expectations, of course, and with the third party, I mean the second part of the equation with the SO, um, which throws another monkey wrench in the situation, right? You want to definitely you definitely want to set boundaries there, and if that boundary is not met, then we just keep it moving the way that we've been keeping it moving, and we'll continue to um, provide resources, for the children, because they need the resources more than anything. The dad needs some resources as well to deal with the whole situation, right? And raising these teenage girls on his own, and all the stuff that goes with puberty and all that kind of stuff, so it's a lot, but he definitely. So I think that needs to be addressed separately before they even come together. There needs to be a lot of conversation. There needs to be some sessions going on. There needs to be some. I think some. I want to say some advice given to the kids on how to handle their emotions, and it's okay to have these emotions, but you need to be able to handle it well so that it don't hurt you, moving forward. Because if we don't handle things properly as they appear in our lives, they're gonna appear ugly, uglier as we mature, right? And
Yeah, they handle us.
yes, thank you. That they do handle us, and so those are some things that I had off the top.
Okay, awesome.
Cool.
Passing the mic to Jo-Da-Roe.
So yeah, I agree with everything what you said, Antoine. Especially, I'm glad you brought up that the mother and that third party therapist or whoever that's going to be needs to have the talk, because the dad has already had that talk, right? and he has set his boundaries already. He's like, hey, and also I think it's a good idea for the mother and that third party individual to have the talk without the father present, so there's not any type of, maybe friction, or maybe some type of I don't know, could be something, some kind of clashing going on. It's like, look, you're here with
Any
somebody
kind of
who's totally
bias.
not,
Yeah.
yeah, totally not with the family or associated with the father. This is someone totally new individual. So there's no bias on
Somebody
that.
that doesn't have a
So,
dog in the fight.
and I think that's the perfect type of person to have. It's like, look, you can tell me whatever because I don't know him, I don't know you, but we're going to talk about what we're going to do, what was set for the kids, for you to be able to even speak to the kids due to what you have done previously. And again, that's just re-traumatizing. So I definitely like how you brought that up. Now, for the second thing, the SO, that's a whole new, that's a whole new thing. And I
Boy,
mean,
look, that's a lot.
that's a
That's a
lot
whole
because
different
now
show.
it's like what is going through the father's head of these two girls. Like, oh no. And I'm glad he did set his main boundary. Like, if you're going to want them, you want to spend the night with them, you're going to do it at my mother's house. This is my boundary. Here's
And
the
here's the thing,
mediator, the median.
that was in the beginning.
Oh,
That was in the beginning. That's when he thought that they were going to go down a path of, and okay, and the other piece that, if I remember correctly, so there was a period in which mom, remember I said she spoke to him a couple of times.
mhm.
Well, in that couple of times, he didn't know that she was going to dip off. So at that
Right.
time, he was trying to set some guardrails in place. That was 4 or 5 years ago. But keep in mind, 4 or 5 years ago, let's do the math on that. How old were those girls 4 or 5 years ago? If one was 15, so one was 10, right?
Yeah.
And the other one was what, 7?
Yep, that's right. Should be right.
So that means mom hadn't spoken to those girls, hadn't seen those girls, talked to those girls, interacted with those girls, one for 10 years and the other one for 7 years. And so even in that time frame, she was a stranger. When she came in at that point, she was a stranger. And he allowed it, and he had some definite guardrails in place, and mama disappeared after that. Here we are, another 5 years down the line, and I'm back, y'all. Right? My advice is to, of course, have mama needs to go through some parenting classes. I need you to get a certificate. Like, I need you to go get some parenting classes and prove to me that you have gained the skills to parent. Number
the
one.
Receipts.
Number two, you need to be in some kind of a need therapy, something for 6 months. I need consistent 6 months showing up to deal with whatever it is that's preventing you from being involved in these girls' lives before I even have a conversation with them about you showing up. Because I'm not about to shake this tree that I just planted, just started getting fruit on, and here you come.
Yeah.
We're not doing that. So I'm not telling you, this is just my opinion. I would not say to her she can't see her children. I would say you can absolutely see them. You can absolutely have a relationship. But here's what I need from you to protect them. The situation with regard to your husband still stands. I will make sure, or have a conversation with my mom to make sure her offer still stands. Right? Because we don't know what's happened with mama in the last 5 years. Right?
That's right.
But and when I say mama, I mean the dad's mama. The children's mama, right. I would not even entertain talking to my children about her coming back into their lives or any of that. I would say to her, I'm not keeping you from them. I am protecting them from harm. And the way that I know that I don't have to do that with you is you have to show me something different. Because what you've shown me over the last 15 years has been bull crap. You're not reliable. You're causing them distress. And me allowing you to talk to them would only be me allowing you to soothe yourself. And if you're not in this for them and there's something in you're trying to get full up on, get that somewhere else. But if you really want a relationship with your daughters, AKA my daughters, here's what you have to do. You need to go to a parenting class, and I need a bona fide certificate showing that you went through that parenting class. I need you to go to counseling for 6 months, and I need some information from your counselor. You and I need to touch base here and there over the next 6 months so that I know that I'll know whether or not you're doing these things. Like, you can't just disappear for another 6 months and come back and be like, look what I got.
And you're right about
this
that.
This is going to be a slow, arduous process. Yeah.
And I want to tag on what you just said. I think that's very valid, as in, like, she does need to get classes, because no way you're going to allow her to come in these child's life and just shake that tree and just knock it all over again. Ain't no way. It ain't going to happen. Yeah, and the other point you made was,
and he's still dealing with the issue. He's still dealing with the issue.
Mm-hmm. And the other point I like is, are you doing it for yourself? Or are you doing it for the kids? That's a really valid point right there. So valid. I'm glad you said that, because most is just for herself. But, this is my opinion, because someone popping in and out, you must feel guilty or something, because these kids weren't on your mind at all for 10, 12, 7. You know what I mean? What's the deal? What's going on?
Right, where you been? Where you been? What you been doing? Okay, let me just say this, and I'm not the mother of all mothers, although I like to crown myself as thus, and let me fix it. I would not be able to rest if I could tell you what kind of unrest I would be in. How here, I wouldn't be able to breathe, not talking to my children, not seeing my children. They're all adults right now. And even now, as grown-ups, I need to talk to them. I need to see them. I need to know they're okay. I need to know what's happening with them. To leave a child that is 3 years old and another one that's about 10 months old, 9 months old, and just, I can't imagine the mindset. And I asked Dad, I said, well, does she have an addiction? Because that would explain, the disappearance. Not that it would okay it, but it would explain it. He said, no, she don't even drink. I said, does mom have mental health issues? He was like, I don't know, but not when I was with her. She went in and out of hospitals on medication, nothing that would warrant I've disappeared, literally off the face of the earth. And now I'm back. Absolutely not. Where you been? And I can't believe, as a woman, this is just mother to mother, woman to woman, I can't believe that her intention or her decision is anywhere based in the benefit of these girls. I believe that it is self-seeking. I believe there's something that she's trying to fill internally. There's something that she wants to get or is trying to get. She's not there or attempting to be there to become a mother. She's not there to offer herself up to rectify as close as possible the damage that she's done. So absolutely not. Parenting classes with a certificate, 6 months of ongoing therapy. All right, I'm frozen. I don't know if you all can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. You're
okay. I think
but we still can hear you clear. So.
Yeah, something's going on with this internet. I am in the country. I apologize, but absolutely 6 months of ongoing therapy with proof of said 6 months and proof of progress in the way of being ready to engage the girls. Without that, I can't risk it.
I love it.
I can't risk it. And I know people will say, well, you shouldn't keep somebody. You should keep a parent from a child if the behavior of that parent causes the child damage.
Yeah, you have to set healthy boundaries. And
to me, disappearing, make no mistake about it.
yes, you definitely have to set some healthy boundaries. And so I wholeheartely agree with the 6 months of counseling and the parenting certificate that will show adequate enough that she is genuinely wanting to rectify the wrong that she's caused. And if she
But not
does
only
not,
that, Antoine, I think that the parenting. Go ahead, say it again.
no, I'm listening.
I can't hear you.
I'm
Oh no,
listening.
I was saying, say it again. I said, yeah, not only so the parenting suggestion for me is twofold. Not only showing that she's committed and she's ready to have a relationship with them, but she has the tools to even have a relationship with them. The parenting classes will give her the tools and the understanding of the undertaking it is that she has been taking so lightly. The gravity of what it is she's claiming to want to do with regard to these children. Having them in your belly and pushing them out apparently does not give that to everybody. You are impacting the lives of people who have yet to gain the information, the knowledge, the tools, and the skills to navigate this life. The last thing you want to do is to make that harder for them. And as the dad, I can understand him saying, I'm having a difficult enough time equipping these girls with what I can to help them be successful, productive citizens of the society without a parent jumping in and out. And it's almost like love bombing, right? I mean, just think of the feeling behind it. When you're being love bombed, you have this feeling of feeling important, feeling loved, feeling seen, and feeling cared for. And then she disappears. And that, I believe, it will plummet their self-esteem lower than it already is. It's the over and over and over damaging of a child. And this is coming from a child that was abandoned by a parent. Right? As an adult, I can say it was best that he was not jumping in and out of my life. As a kid, I probably would have taken anything that he was willing to give me. But that also sets the standard, especially as a girl, that you're willing to take little bitty breadcrumbs of love just to have a little bit of it. Now, love me all the way or get the hell on. And I know they, at this age, don't have the ability to decipher that, but when they become women, they'll understand it. And so I'm with Dad as far as saying, yeah, nah, I need you to do some stuff. You can't see them until you do thus and so. And people will say, oh, she got to jump through hoops. Yes, 1 million of them. Because what's important is those children at the end of the day, not how mama feels and how her pride is hurt and how she's just the mama. And oh my God, how could you fuck her? Nobody cares about her feelings, what she's going through. I don't. I'm just saying as a woman, I don't. I care about those children. Right. So if you saying, you know what, I've had an epiphany. What I've been doing over these last 10 years, 15 years has been boo-boo. And I just want an opportunity to love my girls and build them up and help repair some of the damage that I now realize that I've done and will never do again and will never, allow myself to be separated from them. Still need 6 months of counseling and 6 months, and parenting classes.
Totally agree on that.
Yeah.
I think there's,
so if you're listening,
a small lag too.
She can't see them kids. Oh yeah, you're getting. Yeah, I don't know what's going on tonight. Sorry about that, you all. I don't know if it's my internet. Probably.
Yeah, I think that is necessary. So it's not a no. It's not a no. You can't see the kids. It's, yes, you can see them, but these are the parameters and how you need to meet to see them. And then the choice is yours. If you want to meet those parameters based on your past behaviors, then then we can move forward with this. If you cannot do that, then that's your choice, and you really don't want to see your children. And that, you would think that that's common sense, but common sense ain't as common as we would like to believe that it is.
Yes.
And so, so we have an opportunity. I think if Dad will put some of these things into place, if not all, and it will assist him in protecting his children from further abuse, and also just make sure that he's not trying to parent these kids alone and trying to, coach them into a healthy life, because he probably needs to be coached as well. And so that whole family needs to be in a space where they're constantly getting assistance with their feelings and emotions and the trauma that they have experienced from this parenting situation.
I totally agree with you on that, Antoine. And like these are like what we talked about. I think these are good steps that the dad can take to move forward, and it's really all upon the mom to agree to the boundaries being set and the different steps she needs to take in order to move forward. And again, if she doesn't want to take it, then she just, hey, I think, in my own opinion, if she doesn't want to take these steps or address, set the boundaries that are being made, she's just doing it for herself. Like it's all this is for self and not even to be, not even for her kids to even say, I want to reconnect. It was maybe some type of guilt. Maybe someone brought it up. Maybe she just feels like have this epiphany. It's like, oh man, I have two kids out here. I need to go see them. I mean, again, what is your reasoning behind it, and what are you going to get with it? And that's why I still say and agree. She needs to get with the therapist that the dad has set. Like, hey, this is the therapist, this is the mediator. You're going to have to answer some questions and go through this, because what is your end goal before you even make contact anymore? And that's contact on the phone, Facebook, if they have Facebook or not, Instagram, all the social media sites. It's like, no, you're not going to have no access, no auntie, no cousin, whoever you know down the street is not going to hand the kids the phone. None of that's going to happen until you do these steps.
And the other piece to that is, okay, let's give mom the benefit of the doubt, right? Let's say mom says, no, you don't understand. I've grown up. I feel horrible about the choices that I've made in the past with regard to them specifically. I want to do whatever I can to have a relationship with my girls. I'm willing to go to the parenting classes. I'm willing to go to therapy. And now we've done all that, and we're at the point of interacting with the girls. My suggestion is that the introduction and the interactions need to be done in therapy. So what I mean by that is when they get to meet her, they might get a phone call or whatever, maybe. I personally would not do it that way. I would say, okay, you've given your certificate. I know you've been in counseling. We've been talking, and I feel confident that, you're ready to meet the girls. I'll bring them to your next therapy session. Y'all need to have therapy. The mama and the girls need therapy to fix that. And the therapy needs to be ongoing with mom. And I would say maybe 90 days in, we can do the movies. We can do the park. We can do, you've got to slow walk your way into building the trust with those girls, because I'm pretty sure they have trust issues already. pretty sure they have abandonment issues already. So even once mom has done all that work, dad, I would still require her to maintain counseling with the girls. I would require them to at least go 90 days before they can go to the park and just chill out with mom, or go to the movies, or they can have more of a hands-off relationship with regard to you or somebody in your selection being a mediator or guardian. Now, given the issue with the husband being an SO, that may be something that needs to happen ongoing, especially if mom, because, let's be real, a lot of times the man is the head of the household. So even if mom has an opinion, dad is still, a husband is still going to say, hey, you're my wife. You're not going to be going to see you've been going to see your kids, XYZ, any dialogue. I'm not even going to put that dialogue out there like it's real. But my point is that if he's a part of her life, and clearly, he has a say in the decisions that she makes and how they affect him and their household, the ongoing facility, like mom may always have to have somebody around to ensure that mom doesn't go, well, I trust hubby, so hubby can come this time. My thing is to never, ever put those girls in a scenario where you wish you had not. So that's my 2 cents. Maybe 4. Maybe 4 cents.
Well, I like that because, husband is really not in the picture for maybe a year at least before, even a conversation with him being around the kids or anything like that. If that were to
that should never happen.
I know
should never happen.
I wouldn't say never. It's up to dad. If he wants to say never, that's fine. It's definitely his prerogative. But definitely a lot of ongoing. The mom has to have that proven track record with the kids, and of course her household needs to be okay with that. If it's going to be something serious and that is going to take place. So I think that I think right now he has a great plan of action that he can take based on our conversation here tonight. And that if he has some follow-up questions and things like that, maybe if he needs some sources that maybe can supplement for the pay, or some free resources, some ideas like that, maybe we can help him in that area so that he can get the help that he needs, because this is not just happening to him, but there's other people. Like you said, it's not a common thing, but we know that this is something that's going on in whether it's father or mother. Of course, it's definitely tougher when it's mom because of that nurturing piece that she brings to the table, and for a child not to have that from their mom, it's a traumatic situation.
Yeah, and I also would suggest there's a third piece to this with regard to my opinion. I also feel like dad needs to be in ongoing counseling with the girls as well, and for himself. So dad needs to be receiving counseling, and the girls need to be receiving counseling. As much therapy as you can involve in this situation, the better. My opinion with regard to the husband, I feel like he is not a family member. He's not blood. He's not a parent. There's absolutely no reason for him to have a relationship with those girls, especially given his convicted status. And the status is that of the incident, according to that, was with a minor. So it's not just a S. He's not just an SO. He's an SO against a minor. And I'm sorry that I didn't think. I guess I assumed that we would assume that that was the case. So I apologize about that. But in my opinion, there is no reason for him to have a relationship with those girls at all, or ever be exposed to them. And I don't care who he's married to. If he were a parent, that would be a little bit different to navigate, but there's no reason for it. None. So in my opinion, the husband needs to be X'd out of the equation completely with regard to contact with the girls.
And
What do you say, Joe?
I do agree that the dad should also get therapy, because looking at the overall our opinions and the whole situation, the dad should get the therapy with the girls. And in my mind, I'm thinking with the girls separate from the mother, they have their own therapy, because the dad had to go through all that with his two girls, and no telling what type of trauma and the ways he had to go through with them as well. So I think that should definitely be a separate session for the dad and the girls, and then again with the girls and the mother. And eventually, if it does get to a certain point, hopefully it does go in the way that the mother does want to put the work in, that all of them could have that one session, maybe a month together after, I said after the individual sessions are maybe a year, maybe. I'm just saying a year because, it could take less than a year or more than a year.
I'd say at
Individual sessions before they come to all right, now we're all as a unit going to do this session to get everything out, because again, the mother's still a stranger, I think, in my opinion, from what we've been talking about. So reintroducing her back in the group setting will be good once the individual settings have been going for a while. Now, when it comes to the husband being the SO with, I didn't know it was with minors. I'm thinking all together. But nah, that is definitely a wall, a boundary. Nope, that's not going to happen. And again, what Antoine said, if the dad somewhere down the road wants to say, you and your husband and me and a therapist visitation, or however it's going to be, however the dad wants to set that up, that's definitely his choice to figure out that situation. But currently, no. In my mind, no. That husband has nothing to do with these kids just because of that background. And like you said, Jay, yeah, no. But ultimately, it's going to fall on the dad on what he wants to do. But I think the steps he needs to take is definitely the therapy with the kids, therapy with the mother and kids, and her show up. Because if she's not going to show up and show that effort, she needs to get on. And that's my 2 cents right there.
In which case, if mom is not willing to do the work, like let's just say off rip, she's like, I'm not doing all that. Tulu. Or let's say she goes, okay, I'll do it, and she doesn't finish. Exactly. Deuces. Chuck up the deuces. But the most important thing is, no matter what the outcome is, no matter what ends up happening with her, you and those girls need some therapy. You should be in therapy. Your girls should be in therapy. You all should be in therapy together. They should be in therapy on their own, because they should be able to express themselves. A lot of times even if we have a parent that we can quote unquote tell anything, there's some things that we don't want to say. We don't want you to be disappointed. We don't want you to be hurt. So we'll hold back. They need a safe space to speak their truth from their perspective right now. So dad, no matter what happens with mom, your focus right now should be those girls and you getting yourself mentally, emotionally prepared. And I know there's some healing that needs to take place there. That should be your goal. I would put my standards out for mama to hear. Don't hang your hat on that, but you make sure that you get yourself and get your girls into therapy. no matter what happens with mom. And this way, you guys have tools and you're equipped to deal with the emotions that come should that day come that she decides that she wants to really show up for them. You're equipped.
Yes. You know, we all need it. Not even dealing with the trauma that you have faced and that you're facing right now. We all need counseling and therapy. So it should be a commonplace in our society, and I wish it was. And so I hope that we eventually, and that's what Adrulix is all about, is creating that space where we can have this conversation and it be ongoing. And I know Healing and Help is also the same thing, you know, because we don't know how to deal with our past. We don't know how to deal with our trauma. And we're not going to be able to do it without professional help. Right. And I say professional help. It doesn't necessarily have to be, but somebody who knows what they're doing, right? Someone who can help navigate
Well, we're professionals.
through your situation. And so we all need it. It's nothing, you know, it has been taboo in some communities, but we want to take that taboo off of it, right? We want to lift that off and say, hey, we all need to learn how to deal with our stuff. We need to stop being emotional driven. We are emotional creatures, but it shouldn't be driving us. Our emotions should not be driving us. We should be able to embrace them, understand them, and properly funnel them into the place where they need to be, and say, okay, now because I felt this way, I need to make these decisions so that I can do something better for myself and the people that I love.
Well said.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you there. And of course, you know, Healing Help also, like just Antoine was saying, we offer one-on-one sessions. If you're interested, you can visit healing.help, get scheduled. We love to support you in this journey. We would even love to support you in securing case management services for your daughter, you know, help facilitate finding those parenting classes, help find that therapist. So if you really want us to hold hands with you, and I don't mean that in a negative way, through this process, because it can be scary, it can be tedious, it can feel like you might be asking a lot, but you need to ask a lot and you need support and you need to be reminded of that. So we are here for you. Feel free to reach out to us. I so appreciate you sending in your, we all do appreciate you sending in your question. I hope that we've answered it in a way that gives you some clarity, gives you some marching orders, and in a way that helps you feel seen and supported. So thank you. And we're here for you
Yes.
if you need us.
Yes, awesome. And also for the viewers, you know, you're here, we're here for you too. And so we are a
Yeah.
resource and we ain't going nowhere. We want to help. That's why we're in this space. Since coming in this space, I've had some trauma come into my life, and you know, it was something. You know, I had to deal with some mental health issues and drugs, and it was tough. You know, it was a tough situation that I had to deal with, and I'm still watching my mind, my thoughts, feelings, and emotions in regards to it. But like right now, I feel absolutely comfortable in sharing and talking about the situation, because you have to watch your emotions, right? When you've had a traumatic experience, that it don't put you right back in the most and into that experience when you talk about it, right? And those
Yeah.
Hmm.
feelings of anger or fear or jealousy or whatever those feelings may be, come right back up to the surface, right? Because that means
Right.
we need to practice
Like,
letting
damn.
it in. Yeah.
That's right.
I'm all upset again. Where my gun at?
Don't do it. I ain't got no bail money, and I need you on this cash next Sunday. So no. We're gonna put some time on the calendar for us.
Right. So that I feel good. I really do. I thank God for the deliverance and the help that He gives. And so we are here for you. So if you're watching this and this episode has touched home with you and in your current situation that you're dealing with, please feel free to reach out to us, healing.help and adrulix.com. We're here to support you, whether that's with our resources that we have, or if we can help facilitate some other resources for you that you may need. We're all about you. And so we're excited to be able to serve you in that capacity.
And that is right. And of course, like, we want to hear everybody's stories, and comment, please comment, like, subscribe, share this out, because again, we're here for you. And we love when you submit your like I say, your stories, and maybe we can have, help you out and give our opinion like we did on this episode. Also, look for us on Ko-Fi. That'll be ko-fi.com/healing help. You can find us there, or you can go look on our Instagram page, and it'll be healing help, and you'll be able to find us on that. It'll also be dropped down the link, everyone. But again, we're all on our healing journey. It's never a destination. That's one thing I can say. Because I'm on my journey and I'm loving it, and that's why I'm here. I'm just giving back what I can give. All right, but that's all I got for everyone.
Well, you know what they say: iron sharpens irons, healers heal. So healed people heal people, and like Joe said, healing is a journey, and we're all on this journey together. So thank you so much for allowing us into your living room, your car, your phone, wherever you are. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Later, everyone.
Bye.
Lessons we can't quantify. Won't you tune in to realize that the hero's deep within, and lessons we can't quantify. Won't you tune in to realize that the hero's deep within, and lessons we can't quantify.